Есть выход. Все, пацаны, валим отсюда.
Ща к
Так, пора
барыгам, а
сваливать.
потом по бабам.
All right, good. You guys, and if you try to assign B.
Где Алексей? До ночи еще 10 минут. Да какую-нибудь шоколадку. Ой.
in run of some card for like $120 when shipping's cheap. Definitely not an Intel engineer writes in. And he says, what is the rationale behind NVIDIA gimping memory and memory bandwidth hypothetically on the RTX 4070, according to the latest rumors, which suggest that it might have a 160-bit bus with 10 gigabytes of RAM? How do you think this will affect usability aging of this card? Would there be any last-minute changes, like 10 to 12 gigabytes, to alleviate these concerns? Because otherwise, to me, the 4070 doesn't look so good right now. Honestly, my answer to this, and it's kind of leading into the next story, is before I put out that NVIDIA oversupply, kind of like RTX 4090 update video, one of my better sources said, by the way, nothing is set in stone. Like, like guys, when we start debating like, oh, is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? It's hard for me to really comment on it until it's finalized. I really have nothing to say. If it only has 10 gigabytes, honestly, my answer is the same as Navi 33. What's it cost? Is it going to be $400 with 10 gigabytes for like 3080 performance? That doesn't sound like the worst. Is it going to be $600? Sounds terrible. But I doubt it would be $600 if it's going to be that weak, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, all I can really say is I don't think a 4070 that has a 160-bit bus sounds good. And the 4070, you would think they would want to sell for at least $500, and I don't think they would go for $400. So I guess we'll see.
Well, and again, like, when have they done this before? Kind of. I don't know. How about the 3.5 gigabyte 970 that everyone still says is one of the best cards they ever made? Why?
That's true.
There's no such thing as bad products, just bad pricing. And they called it a 970, but they priced it like it was a 960 Ti, so everyone loved it. So
that's true. I guess there's always the chance that they could try to do stuff like that again. My assumption is they'll try to keep the price points at where they currently are. If not, I don't know, add $50 to them if they can.
Well, I wouldn't mind taking a second to talk about that too, because I do think we might see an interesting tactic taken by NVIDIA, where they do this launch that, surprise, surprise, is built around the understanding that we are in a recession. So what do you do if you're building a product for a recession? You build for volume and cheaper pricing, and you don't always go for top performance. Ampere was built like a lineup for people who have money to drop.
Yes.
But if you're NVIDIA, what you would probably do is still have flagships that hit the top performance goals of about double a 3090's performance, and then position those for the people who will have the money to buy them. But then everything else in lower, especially the high volume sellers, which again, it's a little hard to keep the 3070 in stock at MSRP. People want that 70 class and lower. What do they do? Well, maybe they use a weaker die, but so they can make a ton of the weaker die price lower. And I could see a lineup where we see the 4090 being what we expected, the 4090 Ti being what we expected, but then even the 4080 and lower is like 20% weaker than we expected, but costs them 40% less to make, and they just focus on producing that because they know no one's going to buy the extravagant stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully, even if they're going for a more bear market design, I guess, hopefully that it would still have like 192-bit 12 gigs or something like that.
I would say that too. If they charge more than $500 in a new generation, you gotta have 12 gigabytes. I think. I don't know. It would have to be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's overdue. Again, if Navi 33 were to be over 500, it either better beat a 3090 Ti and have double the ray tracing, or it better have 16 gigs of RAM or something. Which Tamatayo writes in asking about this. He says, "What do you think NVIDIA's plan is for dealing with Navi 33? Assuming that AMD hits its performance and volume targets, Navi 33 should beat the Ampere card still on shelves and raster and ray traced while being cheaper and using less power. Is delaying non-Halo Lovelace to Q1, Q2 2023 really feasible? I don't think so. When AMD plans to launch with volume in October, or does NVIDIA have some other plan to stop AMD from taking mid-range market share?" Well, right now, I know RDNA 3 launches in Q4. I'm not doubling down on which week exactly the volume is going to be there. Although from what I hear, before December, or at least the beginning of December, Lovelace volume should be there for everything from the 4080 to the 4090, and maybe the 4070 is landing around then. In terms of your question of how are they going to compete with Navi 33, I think Navi 33 is less affected from the prospect of a bunch of $500 3080 10 gigabytes and a bunch of $350 or whatever dollar 3070 8 gigabytes on the market, but it's still definitely affected. Like, if there are 3070s for below $400 used, I think that tells you AMD's idea of charging $500 for an 8 gigabyte card, which they never were sure they were going to do that, but they were definitely considering it. I do think that goes out the window, don't you, Dan?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the question though I have is, when is it worth it? So let's just say Navi 33 is 6900 XT performance in 1080p, 6800 performance in 4K, in which I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it sounds terrible in 4K, and I say, well, only if you look at the glass half empty. And I'm not confirming this is what it will be, but like, does it really sound so bad if it's like, this is an RX 6800 for $400 that has better ray tracing, but it has 8 gigabytes? That doesn't sound terrible to me, but it does make me go, I don't think it should be 500. I'm gonna get away with that.
Probably not. I mean, even in a in a world where like used 3070s, or new 3070s if they're still clearing out stock, I guess it depends on how low they could sell new 3070s for at a certain point. If they don't have a Navi 20, not Navi,